In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I have built my six-figure business with astrology and with less than 100 followers. Now, my followers have increased since I have started making this a business, but when I initially started making money and stuff, I had 100 followers. I don't do any sales calls. I don't do anything like that. And I'm quite different from a lot of the people that talk about business out there. Now, the reason I want to do this video is because I know myself that not everybody can work with me. I know I don't have the time, I don't have the capacity to be able to serve everybody. So at least with this video, I can help more people and show people what I've done so that they can use this too. If you do want to work with me, I do have a coaching program, which I'll talk about in a little way. But first of all, I am not new to business. I have built a freelance marketing business, which I had for over 15 years. And well, before that, actually, I had an affiliate marketing business, which was promoting other people's products. Now, to be fair, that business I should have probably have stuck with, yeah, because it was doing well and I enjoyed it and I had the lifestyle that I actually wanted. But I ended up falling away from it and building a freelance marketing agency. And that meant that I was doing a lot of services for other people when it came to marketing. I was building their funnels, building their copywriting, their emails, doing all that stuff. And it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't enjoy it, because the last 15 years I did enjoy it. However, it wasn't what I was really wanting. Yeah. The whole reason I got into this online marketing, online business space, well, back then, was because I wanted freedom. I wanted to escape that 9-to-5 rigid boss authority sort of structure. And I just built myself a business where I still had that, except instead of having one boss, I had loads of bosses. And I done that for over 15 years. And last year, it really took its toll on me. I had a lot of other stuff going on, personal stuff, which I talked about in the video about Saturn and Pisces. So if you've not seen that video, I'll leave it in one of the cards somewhere. So I did have quite a lot of challenges over that last 2-year period, which led me to doing what I'm doing now. And the business that I'm doing now is a coaching business, and I do help. I've always worked with coaches. The whole 15 years, the biggest amount of people that I worked with was coaches. And real estate agents. So they're the two that I kind of gravitated towards. And I would say that where was I going with that? Absolutely. So what I'm doing now is I'm still working with coaches. That's what I was trying to say. And I love it. Yeah. The difference is now, a lot of the people that I worked with, a lot of the people that I learned from, they were very, you just work hard and do everything and hustle until you can't hustle anymore. And then in one day you'll get your retirement, and then that's when you'll get all the fruits of thy labor, shall we say. And I thought that's what would have got me to where I wanted to go. And I was like, okay, yeah, there was people in the space that had done it quickly. They had got to where they want to go. I thought that's exactly what I want to do, which led me into the marketing agency space. But 15 years later, I ended up burning out pretty bad. Like I said, go and watch the Saturn and Pisces video. I'll not bore you with it here. And that was what led me to doing this coaching, where now I have built a business around what I love. Yeah, I have built a business around my passions, because my passion is astrology. Yeah, like every day I live and breathe astrology. And back then, like 15 years ago, I didn't really even talk about astrology at all. And that's because when I was growing up, I was shamed for it. It was the weird thing. I was the weird kid. So I was thinking about planets and stuff and talking about signs and whatever. Like, that's not exactly the norm. So it took me probably until last year, I would say. I think last year I started talking about it more. And I started doing readings for people. And got told how good I was at it and started to do it more professionally. But I still had this business, remember, as well, that I was running, where I was doing all the marketing and doing all the things. So by the time that actually came to crunch time, I want to build a business that I'm actually passionate about. Astrology had to be a part of that. It's something I've had as all the way through my life, something that I was very comfortable with. It was something that I make time for myself every single day, every single week. So I wanted to make sure I had that as a part of my business. And it led me to starting an astrology channel, this channel, which has been kind of business astrology, because I wanted to merge those two together. Because my experience, what I can help you with the most is business, but astrology has been the sort of instruction manual, the blueprint that I have used throughout my life. And I really do believe that it's the thing that can make you build a business that you love and that doesn't take over your life. Now, this video is not for you. If you are looking for a quick tactic or a hack for fast growth, this video is not for you. If you enjoy having a job where you know you're going to work hard and you're going to do all the things and then you can live your life later, this video is not for you. If money is your primary driver for business, then I'm not for you. Yeah. And if you want a team where you can then build a team that you can then lead the business that way, this video is not for you either. Because one of the things I realized when I was growing my business is that, yeah, you can have a team. What does that equal? More team meetings. Then you have to work more to be able to afford to pay the team. So I didn't like having a team. Plus, I was never ever satisfied with the work that the team would do, so I would end up doing it anyway. I was more of a micromanager when it came to that because I didn't want to put out something that I wouldn't put my name on. So I didn't want a team. Like I said, it's more team meetings as well. For me, money is a tool. It helped me live my life. That I need 7 figures, that I need 8 figures, that I need 9 figures? Absolutely not. So yeah, so if money is your driver here, then it's not what I want. It's what I'm here to do is to help you build a lifestyle that you can live, and your work supports that. Your money supports that. You don't need to be making millions to be able to do that. Yeah. So if that is your driver, then I'm not for you. And that is one of the things that has been really important to me building this business. It's not about how much money comes into my bank account. Yeah. If I've got a modest home, I've got a modest car, I like to go on my trips, I'm not gonna lie, that's maybe, and I will probably have the fancier hotels, but that's maybe where I spend more of my money, shall we say. But when it comes to actual money, I'm not like, is it 6 figures? That's plenty for me. 7 figures, if I have a good year, I'm not going to say no to it, but it's not where I'm striving for. It's not in my KPIs or my goals or anything like that. My goal is always to hit the 6 figures because that can allow me to live the life that I want to live. Without much hassle, without much stress. And that I would take a lower income for less hassle and less stress. So like I said, I do have a coaching program, which is the Inner Circle, and I'm going to talk about that throughout this, but there's 25 slots. I don't know when you're going to see this video. There might be still 25 slots. There might be less. There might be more. I don't know, right? But at the moment of time of recording this video, I have 25 slots available that if you get in there just now, you can claim one of these 25 spots. Yeah, so let's just get on with the video. So get clear on what you want is the first thing that you want to do here. Yeah. You want to get clear on why you're actually doing this. Like I said, for me, I was always chasing money. The 15 years, that was chasing money. I thought if I had all this money, then I would be able to do X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, I was willing to knock my pan in and earn it at the end. Whereas now, I have a business that's more spread, like I'm earning enough money every single month where I can then spread that out. Yeah, where I can enjoy my life on top of that. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't get clear on what I want. And the thing is, no matter what you want, you have to become that person. You have to embody that role. Especially if you're anything into manifestation, and I'm into manifestation in the state that we manifest every day of our life anyway. So at least do it consciously. So if you're anything like that, you need to learn to embody the role of who you want to become. You need to embody the beliefs of the person you want to become. But you can't do that. If you're just chasing money, you just want money, you'll get money, but you'll blow it. You'll not enjoy it. It'll not help you. Whereas when you're clear on what you want, you're clear on the beliefs that you need to be able to do that, then you will earn the money that allows you to live your life. So that is the first thing. Like, why do you get up in the morning? Like for me, why do I get up in the morning, switch on this camera and talk to you? What is my driver? Well, it's so that I can live my life and not worry about the security of my home, not worry about if my kids are going to be if my kid is going to have a dinner on the table, and not worry if like my future partner is comfortable. Like we're comfortable, we've got stability and all that stuff. Yeah, that's why I do it. And most of the time when I speak to clients and we do their dream life checklist and all that, we go through that and we'll work through that together. Most of the time it comes down to one thing. They want to support the people they love. Yeah? That is why they get up every day and sit in front of a camera and talk. They want to support the people they love. And that's what it usually comes down to. Now, the reason I use astrology in business is, well, like I said, it's helped me immensely. It's something I'm really, really comfortable with. And it tells you the kind of seasons you're in. Like we all know, well, you might not if you're not being the astrology girl, but like with the zodiac, it's set up in a way that it's all to do with the seasons. Aries, that marks the start of spring. Yeah? Cancer's the summer solstice. Libra is entering fall. And then Capricorn is winter. Yeah? So you've got the 4 seasons are marked out. So you can go through this whole zodiac and you've got all these seasons. Now, wherever that falls in your chart, it'll tell you what the best things to work on are. You can use each season as a different part of your business because you know where it falls in your house system. Yeah, I use whole signs because it's easier for me to do my forecast. It's easier for me to do things. I'm just more comfortable with whole signs. I do sometimes look at Placidus, especially if a client's got maybe more stuff going on where there's more beliefs that we need to shift. There's other factors. I'll sometimes use Placidus, but the majority of the time I use whole signs. For anybody who knows astrology, but that might be a bit for some people. And the thing is, like, when you use astrology as well, you can work with cycles. Yeah, you can look at the moon. You can see what phase it's in. You can see what's the best time to do X, Y, and Z. So I like it for timing, but I like it for seasons. And the reason I say that as well is because if your chart is in a season for love and you're trying to build a business, there's not impossible, but you need to have like, okay, this is actually about me making my relationships deeper, finding a partner maybe, or something like that. You can see all that from your chart, like what season you're in life. But also with the seasons, Aries, or the first half of the zodiac with the spring and summer, they're the good ones to be doing all your things, and then the later two are the ones to slow down and start to cocoon a little bit. Yeah, and that's why I like it. If you like, I tend to be a lot quieter as more just content. I don't really do much launching over the winter. Yeah, last winter I didn't really launch my program until spring. So, but I had some little things going on, but winter's a time to cocoon. So that's why I use astrology, and that's what I think it's great for. Now, you do need to, the first thing, once you've got know what you're doing, you know what you want and all that stuff, you're going to use astrology now. You need to get a personal brand. Yeah. There is 100 coaches out there. There are 100 businesses out there. And the thing that separates you from all of them is you. Nobody has lived the same life experiences. Nobody has does the exact same things. Nobody does things the way you do. And that is why it is so important to build a personal brand. And this is where the first bit of astrology comes in, and it's your sun sign and your rising sign. Now, a lot of people will say they don't resonate with their sun sign at all. Yeah, when they've never done any of astrology, they don't resonate with their sun sign. but then they find out they've got a rising sign and they tend to resonate with that. And that is the thing with your rising sign, is that is because you've been conditioned through childhood and where you feel most comfortable presenting yourself to the world. Yeah? It's like your first impressions. It rules it's your first house. It sets up the entire chart. Yeah? So it's a really important placement. So when it comes to your personal brand, this is how you want to be seen in the world. Yeah? This is how you will be magnetic. Your sun is how you shine in the world. Yeah? It's your life force energy. It's your vitality. It's your health. It's your authority. It adds to the picture. But your rising sign is that first impression, is what magnetizes people to you. So when you use the both of these for your personal brand, I always say lean into your sun sign. Because the thing is, yes, you'll probably lean into your rising sign without much thought. Yeah, it's the way you've been conditioned. So you'll probably lean in there without much thought. But when you start to lean into your sun sign and you have the two working together, that is where I see people become the most magnetic, because you've got how you shine and how you were conditioned coming together and working together. And it was for something like me, like I am a Libra rising, yeah? So I was always the peacekeeper. I like things to be balanced. It takes me ages to make decisions. And it's because you have to weigh up all the options. You've got the scales, right? So I was always that person. Peace, harmony, didn't really like conflict. And to a degree, there was a lot of other factors. I could do a video on this on its own, but my Gemini sun, it was there, but I didn't lean into it. I didn't want to make the jokes that a Gemini would make. The jokes that would come into my head where I would find them hilarious, and I was like, I don't want to speak them because if I know nobody else, then they might not like me. Yeah, which is very, very Libra. Yeah, so I tended to suppress the Gemini part of me. Whereas now I'm at a stage now where I lean into my Gemini, and I'll just see what comes out. Because the thing is with a Gemini, they're very good when they're talking. Like when I'm trying to learn something, I'll talk it out. I will talk to myself. I will talk it out, because that's when I start to think about things and I start to get. Whereas if I sit and don't talk it out and I let it get into my head, I'll sit for hours and not get anything done because I'm getting stuck in my head. So for a Gemini, it's much easier to talk it out. And if you're a Gemini, there's a retip for you. That's your personal brand. You need to say, right, this is who I am. So your rising sign, if it's Libra, you're going to be you want a nice aesthetic. You want things to be harmony. You want harmony. You want peace. You want love. You want to be there for your clients. Again, a marketing agency probably isn't going to work well for a Libra rising, because they want to be able to support their clients and be liked by their clients, and especially a low vibe Libra. So they're probably not going to be the greatest, because what I found when I was a market agency, I was people pleasing to get these people to like me. Yeah. So sun sign, rising sign, this is your personal brand. Then the big bit that a lot of people forget or they don't look into is their moon sign. And this is how your business makes you feel. Yeah. This is how, if the sun sign is what the world sees and how you project yourself to the world, the moon sign is what you do, you reflect to yourself. Yeah, it's a reflection of the sun. Yeah, because the sun's light reflects onto the moon. The moon reflects it. It's reflection. So it's inward. Yeah. And again, for me, that's Scorpio. Deep, intense, transformative. Like they'll hold on to their emotions. They need that emotional connection. They're very intuitive. They feel everything. When you're in that marketing world and you're trying to do all the things and you're feeling everybody else's emotions and people aren't happy because things aren't performing and blah, 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 blah. That's a lot for a Scorpio moon to take in. Yeah. Whereas now in my coaching business, where I get to get that deep one-on-one connection with somebody, I don't have a big massive, like I said, 25 spots. So I'm not seeing a lot of people every month, and I can use much more time. It's more, it feels so good in my body. And that stops you getting to burnout. The thing is, when you ignore your your moon sign, you're asking to go into burnout, really, because this is how you feel more comfortable. When you're not that comfortable for a long period of time, it will get to burnout. Yeah. So the moon sign is another sign that is super important. These are your top three, yeah? Because they're so personal to you. Your sun, moon, and rising. Your sun and your rising, your personal brand. Your moon is how you want your business to feel. Now, I'm not going to go too much more into that because, like I said, I'm a Scorpio moon, so I need depth. I need all that stuff. So that's why my business works better when I have a lower amount of clients, but I can serve you more deeply. The next thing that I want to talk about is who you actually serve. Yeah, who do you get up and who do you get up and why do you get up in the morning to serve these people? Yeah, who are they? And the thing is, there isn't the person you are today. There is nobody else better to serve than the person you were 3 days ago, 7 days ago, a week ago, a year ago. You are the best person to help somebody who's in that position now. So where do we look? We look at your rising sign. Yeah? A lower quality of your rising sign. So for me, Libra, they tend to overgive. They tend to, they need that, they've got that need to be liked. Yeah? So there's like people pleasing comes in there. So these are things that I know that my audience might deal with when they're starting their business, when they're coming to me for help. So I know that I've got through that. So now I'm able to help these people with that as well. So you look at your rising sign and look at the lower qualities, and that shows you kind of where this person is. And it's super important because you should not be trying to serve everybody. Because the thing is, when you try and serve everybody, you end up serving nobody. And I will tell you this as well. A lot of my marketing and a lot of things, I have looked at the low values of a Libra. There's other things as well, but the low values of a Libra, and I still attract other signs. Yeah, I don't, like, my client base isn't just Libras. So, and I know that because I do astrology. So let me say to you, just because you're targeting the lower qualities of a Libra doesn't mean that you're gonna just attract Libra risings. Yeah. The next thing I look at is the Chiron wound. This is another thing, that Chiron is known as the wounded healer. Yeah. He couldn't heal his own pain. So, but he could heal everybody else with the pain that he was feeling. Yeah. There's more to it than that. But again, this video is already went on, so I want to get moving. So your Chiron is where you have had to heal yourself, and then you are in the best place to heal people. Yeah. So for me, it's Chiron in Gemini. Now, it's a bit more of a generational planet. It's in a sign for 5 years. So it's going to show up different for everybody who's got Chiron in Gemini. Yeah, there'll be other factors that play in your chart, but that's usually, there's wounds around communication, there's wounds around visibility, there's wounds around these sort of things. So if they are your wounds, then it's best to try and heal these wounds so that you can help other people. Yeah, and that's what, when you work with me in my program, we'll work through the Chiron wound as well so that we can heal that, and you are the best person to help with that. Okay, the next thing is your offer. Yeah, now we've already got a lot of information here. Your offer, we're going to look at your Chiron, we're going to look at your sun, your rising, and your fifth house. We'll start with your fifth house, yeah, because this is, the fifth house is the things you enjoy, the things that bring you pleasure, the things that are fun, yeah? So your passions. What are the things that light you up? That is what you want to look at here. And there's a big difference between things that like for me, I love landscape photography. I've got a camera, I like to go out. I don't care if it's rain, sun or shine. I like to do that. I like to make a day of it. I like to go travel and do things like that. Yeah. However, I did try this as a sort of side hustle, shall we say, and I ended up hating it because I had to then put out a consistent schedule of content. I had to do things with people at certain times, and I was being forced to create, and it wasn't for me. But astrology is something that I do in my life. I'm passionate about it every single day. And it's just a matter of flipping a camera on and talking about what I'm actually doing. Do you know what I mean? So it's a totally different kind of passion for me. So look at your passions and your hobbies and all these things. Now look at it. If you have to do that, if you are having to force that at times, well, not force it, because I don't want to force anything, but that's the wrong word. But if you had to do it consistently, even when you're not feeling it, would you still do it? I think to look at things that you do on a daily basis. Like if you're on Instagram every single day, talking about Instagram is not going to be a problem for you. Yeah. If you're passionate about helping people grow on Instagram, yeah. So look at the things that you're passionate about first. And then we tie in the rest. So if you've got a Chiron in Gemini and you're passionate about Instagram, or you're passionate about, let's change it, not this. If you're passionate about dog training, let's say that, you like to help people with their dogs, but you've got Chiron in Gemini, your audience have a Chiron in Gemini, then if they've got wounds around visibility, then they might not want to take their dogs into busy places. They might not want to, they might not feel heard with their dog. There's loads of different ways that you could interpret that. But so you would look at then what their wound is, and you would see how that ties into what that passion, that hobby, that thing is. And then your sun sign, that's how we're going to project that to the world. Your rising sign is the first impression, where you can make yourself more magnetic. And you tie your offer together like that. So what is the problem? These people have no control over their dogs. Why? Probably if they've got a Chiron in Gemini, because the dog doesn't have a clue, doesn't understand them. Plus they maybe have wounds around going outside. They maybe have wounds around putting themselves out there, maybe being assertive with the dog or whatever. I don't know, I'm not a dog trainer. But there'll be wounds around communication. Yeah, there'll be wounds around something like that with it being in Gemini. So you can say, like, talk to these people using their rising sign. So if they're a Gemini rising, maybe they're too scattered. Yeah, maybe they're not consistent. Maybe they're all over the place. Like, that would be a low vibe Gemini. So with the offer now, we have a person that needs this is going to be somebody who's struggling with control of their dog, because they're scattered, they're not consistent, they're all over the place with the training, they don't stick to anything, they get bored of training, that they end up just, I can't be asked anymore. And their Chiron wound is that they struggle to communicate their thoughts, they struggle to be heard, they struggle to be assertive, they struggle to do all these things to be that. There's wounds around communication, which is hindering the growth of their dog training, yeah, or having control. And it's something that you're passionate about because it's your fifth house. Now this is like the sort of overarching theme of your offer. How do you actually like relate that in an offer? So like for me, I use the inner circle model. There is hundreds of models out there. I like this model. You could go down the route of digital products. You could go down the route of content creator and affiliate marketing. You could go down, there's loads of different routes, yeah? For me, I like the inner circle model, yeah, because it works really, really well. It means I can have that deep connection with my clients. It means I can have that stability and the security, because it's a recurring thing every single month. As long as I retain clients, which that is my focus. Like when it comes to acquisition, I don't need to put a heavy amount of focus there, because all my time can be spent on actually retaining clients, which again, it makes it easier to hold on to clients, because it doesn't, like, retention is a lot easier than acquisition, yeah. And if you have a love for retention, I would say go for this model, yeah. Like, because you do not need to fill it every single month. You don't need to do all this every single month. You can close it, you can open it, and it takes the pressure off acquisition. However, I do still say we should be publishing consistently, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So your inner circle is when it's a coaching program, obviously, where you've got where you see people twice a month. You've maybe got 1 or 2 group calls, and there's usually a community aspect to it, yeah, where they can join. Now, my community aspect is growing, so there's not a lot of people in there, so the group calls do still feel quite intimate at the moment, and they'll never ever get that big, so I've only got 25 spots, so it'll always just feel like that sort of small, intimate classroom. So, but at the moment it's even less, so you will get a lot more one-to-one time with me in the group calls than when there's maybe 25 people in there. So that's why I like the inner circle. There's got so many touch points. The people are getting one-to-one with me. I get to form that deep relationship. And again, you can say you can prepay for 12 weeks, or you can pay every month. And so they're either paying every quarter or they're paying every month. And that's the model I like. And the thing is, if you're doing this right, your audience will evolve with you. Yeah. So they're coming in at the level you were at there, then you're going to get to the next level. And then when they get to here, you'll say, oh, well, actually, now we can get you to here. And then they'll evolve with you to here, and then the next bit, and so on. Yeah, and by the time, if they've stayed with you for a year, and they're really, really happy, and they see that you're continuously growing, and they see all the things that you're doing over a year, these people aren't going to want to leave you. Yeah? If you're continuously getting them results, they're not going to want to leave you. So I say it is much better to focus on retention. Yeah? Because acquisition, especially when you're a new creator or a new whatever, a new coach, then, or a new business, acquisition's the hardest bit. Whereas when you've got your full and you've got this, then you don't have to worry. Yeah, you've got that stability. You just need to worry about retention. And then if you're full anyway, then you don't need to worry about acquisition as much. However, that brings us on to acquisition, building your soul clients. With any kind of content, you need to be consistent. Think of it like your Saturn. Yeah, your Saturn in your business. Now, I don't really use the Saturn sign here, but it does help. Yeah, like when Saturn crosses any of your visibility houses, being consistent on content is going to be a win for you. In Saturn's eyes. So I would say show up consistently, even when you're full. Yeah? Like, even when you're full, show up consistently. Turn it to a wait list. Like you're pushing people onto a wait list. The thing is, if you lose somebody out of your 25 slots, 30 slots, whatever you want, if you lose somebody, you've got a wait list of people waiting, which means you don't have to go out and do the acquisition again. Plus, if you've got a platform, you can release digital products. I sometimes would release a workshop. I'll sometimes release stuff on my email list. So having these is just going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah? So just no matter what, whether you're open to clients or whether you're not open to clients, then you should still be posting consistent content. So what I like to do is I like to have a platform which is long form. So the 3 long form platforms are YouTube, blogging, and podcast. I would say pick one of them. This is like your loyalty platform. It's the start of your funnel. Yeah? I'm not going to use too much marketing terms, but it's the start of your funnel. And with that, when you've got your YouTube, that's where people are going to spend more time with you. So the first video you should create on that is your masterclass. This is what you do. Yeah? Like this video for me. Now you're going to repeat it probably every month because that's how you get better at communicating it. That's how you get better at teaching it. That's how you get better. Now you can maybe do it every week for a little while as well to start building that audience of people that come to you for that thing. But you want to have a masterclass, yeah, on YouTube. And then you want to be on a social media platform as well, which is like your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. These sort of platforms. Why? Because they allow you to communicate. They allow you to DM. They allow you to speak to your people one-on-one. And at the start, you've got 2 options. Yeah? For me, I went down the second option, but you have ads. This is the first option. Yeah? You can boost your posts to get more visibility. Right? That's one way of doing it. Now, I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success with this. And it doesn't cost a lot of money to do it either. So you can do ads, or you can put this focus on engagement. You have these 2 options. So that is where you're more then going out. You're not going out to sell. Never go out to sell because you're not having much luck. You're going out to build relationships. These might become clients. They might become connections. They might become something else. But whatever it is, you're going out to build these connections. And don't think, oh, well, if I don't sell, then people aren't going to. No, but because when people see your genius and they see how good you are and they'll start talking about you to other people. Yeah? So even if they're not the person for you, but what this does is it starts to grow your account with people that could be your potential audience. The Instagram algorithm will start to see that these people are following you and these people are engaging with your content. Like Instagram's not a platform I heavily push. I push YouTube. And I get comments on most of my posts, yeah, which gets them a little bit of a push. The problem with Instagram for me is I'm a little bit inconsistent on it. But at the start, when I was trying to get my followers and get some money coming in, because I was in a place where I had no money coming in. So I had to get to a place. So I had two options. Because I didn't have the money, I had money there, but I didn't have the amount of money that I needed to be able to do this consistently. I decided to focus on, well, I've got the time to be engaging and start talking to people and being in the DMs. I wasn't going out there to sell. I was going out there to talk. And that is how I was being chatty, engaging with stuff that I would have been engaging with anyway. So, and now I'm not as consistent on these platforms, but there is other reasons for that actually as well. But the next thing is to have an email list, yeah? So that when you're on social media, when people find you, they can go onto your email list. And like everybody says, give away a free gift, yeah? To get people to give you their email address. Do that, yeah? But use your masterclass video on YouTube. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You're on YouTube putting out content every single week. And even if you're doing that every single month, say you're doing a monthly masterclass on YouTube, that video is going to change every month. Yeah? And if you do miss 1 month, then people that join you on YouTube might not have seen that video. So when they join your masterclass and then you're showing them it, they're like, oh, I would never have found that video, or I didn't know that video even existed. So don't overthink this like a Gemini, because that's what I did, and it stopped me and made me create loads of stuff that I didn't need to create. Like, have a masterclass on YouTube. Your lead magnet is that masterclass. Get people on Instagram to give you their email address. You can do this with funnels. You can do this with ManyChat. You can do this loads of different ways of doing this, but you can get people to give you your email address and you'll send them to that video, and then they can come back and you can DM them to get them into your program. And all I do is when they say, oh, I'd like to learn more about your program, I say, cool, let me send you this document. And I've got a document that I send which tells them what they get, it tells them what the transformation is, it tells them what it looks like, and then it says, if you want to invest, click the link to pay. Yeah? If you don't want to invest, you don't need to. Yeah? And that is it. I just send that document out. In fact, I'm in the process of that. There's an automation that I've got that does all that for me. If it's people, like that, if one of my posts goes viral and I can't be there to send the links or anything like that, there's an automation that can do that entire step for me. Even though I do spend time in the DMs, so it's not really a problem for me at the moment. And that's building your email list. And your email list is super important. Yeah, your email list is super important, because you're in these people's inbox where they check. Most people will check their inbox once every day. And I know some people are going to be, oh, email doesn't work, email's crap, email's this, or it's spammy, or listen, email's been around for years now. They've been saying, I think since about 2013, that it's dying. If anything, I see it getting better from this point of view. So don't listen to it. Yeah. When I hear gurus saying email's dead, or social media is going to die, or YouTube doesn't work anymore, when I hear people saying that, I'm waiting for a course promotion from that person on something different. Yeah. So if you hear people saying that, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm saying everything works. Yeah. I know it all works because I've done most of it. But one thing I would say that is non-negotiable is having an email list. So that's kind of, you've got your business now bringing, you've got an offer to sell, you've got a way of getting clients. There's not really much more to it. Yeah. If you want to go deeper, we put all this together and work with me to do it. You know, my inner circle is open in the month of June. So come and join my inner circle. Yeah, like that is a good place for you to start. You can come over onto Instagram at @JElliottLife and we can have a chat. I can give you the document that I've got. You can see if it's a fit. If it's not, that's fine. You've watched this video. Thank you so much. If it is a fit, then come and join. Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to have you there. There is just one thing actually before we go. I want to talk about timing, because that is one thing where astrology just is like chef's kiss. Now, when I do my forecast videos like Jupiter in Cancer or the monthly horoscopes, or there's a reason I do them, and it's because it tells you what's happening in the sky at this current moment. If these things are aspecting or doing anything with your chart, you're going to feel these. You can use these for your advantage. Yeah. So by working with the transits that are in the sky at the time, you're able to get more benefits and that for your own business. So that is why transits and timing are why I really like that. And like I said, the seasons. this is why I use astrology. Yeah. So I've got a video coming out. I don't know if it'll be out by the time you see this video, but it's about Jupiter and Cancer and how you can work with that energy for your business. I've got the main Jupiter and Cancer video out just now, and I've got another video about the Jupiter square Saturn. But I'm putting one out which is specifically for like what if Cancer is not in our money house or in our business house? Like, how do I still work with this energy to help my business? I've got a video coming out on that. So like, there's so much that astrology can help you with once you know what to look for and what you're doing with it and all the different parts of it. Honestly, I think when they created astrology, they definitely didn't have a marketing department because it's not the easiest thing to get your head around. But that is exactly why in my inner circle, we focus heavily on that in our one-to-one time so that we can work on it together. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say more in this video. If you want to come and work with me, I'd love to have you there. And I hope you're enjoying the content I'm putting out. If there's anything you want me to create a video on, let me know in the comments. That would be really helpful as well. But yeah, have an awesome week, and I will see you in the next video.